Have you ever wondered why miracles just feel so incredibly rare?
Oh, absolutely. Like those lightning strikes of good luck.
Right. I mean, I'm talking about the dream job offer that comes completely out of nowhere
Yeah.
or suddenly meeting the exact right person.
Or even just a random Tuesday where absolutely everything clicks into place perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. We treat those moments like they're anomalies, like glitches in the matrix.
Totally.
Meanwhile, feeling stuck in the exact same, frustrating life loops feels like the absolute default human setting.
It really does. It's like the baseline.
And you listening know this feeling perfectly well. It's having the exact same argument with your partner about the dishes for the 50th time.
Oh, yeah. Or that identical knot of financial stress every single time you open your banking app.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or that crushing Sunday night dread that just rolls in like clockwork.
Right. The Sunday scaries.
Exactly. So the question is, why is the default setting of our lives so incredibly heavy?
Well, it's a profound question. And honestly, it's the exact tension we are unpacking today.
And I am so excited for this.
Me too. Because we've been culturally conditioned to accept that being stuck or just generally grinding through life is the realistic baseline of adulthood.
Like that's just what growing up is.
Right. We think a massive, sudden positive shift, a miracle, is just a statistical outlier. But what if we have completely fundamentally misunderstood the mechanics of how reality actually operates?
Wait, that is such a huge statement.
It is. But what if the struggle isn't the default at all? What if it's just a frequency we've accidentally tuned ourselves to?
That idea alone completely changes the game. And that is exactly our mission for this deep dive today.
Unpacking that exact concept.
Yes, we are exploring a fascinating, highly detailed framework that breaks down the actual mechanics of what is known as quantum leaping.
Which sounds very sci-fi, but it's really not.
Not at all. And I want to set the baseline for you listening right out of the gate. We are absolutely not talking about toxic positive thinking here.
No, definitely not.
We aren't just saying, hey, smile in the mirror and your debt will miraculously disappear. We are diving into the literal physics of reality.
The actual mechanics.
Right. We are going to explore how shifting your internal state from dense, heavy matter into pure light energy can radically alter the day-to-day experience of your life.
Exactly. The beauty of this framework is how incredibly practical and grounded it is.
Which is what I love about it.
Yeah, we were looking at actionable mechanics, not just floating theory. We are going to break down how your subconscious mind is essentially autopiloting your life straight into a ditch.
Based on like decades-old programming.
Exactly. Decades of it. And much more importantly, we're going to talk about how you can actually grab the steering wheel back.
Yes, the practical tools.
Right. We are even going to walk you through a highly specific 60-second breathing technique designed to physically rewire your brain state in real time.
Which is absolutely crucial, because whether you are listening to this right now wanting to manifest a completely new career trajectory or a healthier romantic relationship,
Or, honestly, just a baseline of peace of mind instead of daily grinding anxiety.
yeah, just wanting to feel okay, this deep dive is going to hand you the remote control to your own reality.
It really is.
So let's jump right into the deep end. The entire foundational premise of this framework rests on a very specific understanding of physics.
Right. It starts at the subatomic level.
It starts with the idea that absolutely everything in the universe, including our passing thoughts and our deepest emotions, is simply energy vibrating at specific frequencies.
And we really need to sit with that for a second because we inherently tend to separate the physical, tangible world from our internal, invisible world.
Yeah, we think of them as totally separate things.
Right. Like when you knock on a wooden table, it feels solid. You think, well, this is matter.
Because you can touch it.
Exactly. But when you feel a wave of sadness or a spark of joy, you think, oh, this is just a fleeting, invisible nothing. It doesn't have weight.
It's just a mood.
Right. But quantum physics tells us a completely different story.
And this is where it gets wild.
It does, because if you zoom in on that solid wooden table down to its subatomic core, it is almost entirely empty space.
Right.
It is just energy vibrating. And this framework takes that scientific reality and applies it directly to our emotions.
Okay, so how did that work?
Well, it posits that your emotional state dictates your literal physical density.
Okay, let's break down what you mean by density. Because when I hear density, I usually just think of weight, like how heavy something is.
Right, but energetically speaking, it's about how tightly packed and slow-moving that energy is.
Okay.
When you are existing in low-frequency emotions, things like chronic fear, deep-seated guilt, persistent worry, or that quiet, nagging sense of unworthiness.
The stuff we all deal with every day.
Exactly. When you sit in those emotions, you are literally causing the energy in your field to vibrate at a drastically slower, heavier rate.
You literally become dense.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the context of the quantum field, those low frequencies make you, quote-unquote, more matter.
I love that concept, and I want to use an analogy from the material to make this super concrete for you listening.
Oh, the wall analogy. That's a great one.
Yeah, think about it like this. If you are matter like a heavy, solid human body, and you try to walk through a solid brick wall, what happens?
You're going to slam right into it.
Exactly. It's going to hurt, you might break your nose, and ultimately, you are going to stay stuck on this side of the wall.
You aren't getting through.
Right. And that is exactly what being stuck in life feels like. You're just slamming into the same obstacles over and over.
The same bad jobs, the same bad dates.
Yes. But if you change your state to energy, let's say you become a sound wave or a Wi-Fi signal, that brick wall isn't an obstacle at all.
It's completely irrelevant to a Wi-Fi signal.
Exactly. The signal passes right through this solid brick without any friction whatsoever.
That is the perfect visualization. Because if you want to influence the quantum field, if you want to create what we casually call a miracle or a quantum leap in your life, you have to stop operating as a dense, solid block of matter trying to smash through a wall.
You have to become the Wi-Fi signal.
You have to become the high-frequency wave. And this perfectly explains why pushing harder, grinding longer hours, and forcing things so often fails completely.
Because you're just matter fighting matter.
Exactly. It's matter smashing into matter.
Just bruising yourself.
Right. When you are vibrating at the dense frequency of fear or desperation, like when you are desperately terrified of losing your job, so you work 80 hours a week in a state of sheer panic.
Which so many of us have done.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But trying to force a positive change from that state is exactly like slamming your physical body into that brick wall.
Right.
It requires an agonizing amount of physical and mental effort for almost zero result.
Because the frequency is wrong.
Precisely. To pass through the wall effortlessly, to leap to a completely new reality, you must become more energy and less matter.
And how do we do that?
You do that by elevating your emotional frequency to lighter states, like profound love, unbothered joy, and genuine gratitude.
But, that raises the immediate obvious question.
What's that?
If the ultimate goal is to be this light, high-frequency Wi-Fi signal of joy, effortlessly passing through walls, why are we all walking around feeling like 100-pound blocks of concrete?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right. Because we don't wake up wanting to be miserable. Nobody does.
Yeah.
So how do we become so dense and stuck in these low frequencies in the first place?
Well, this leads us directly into the biology of our daily habits and the architecture of the human brain.
Yes. Let's get into the brain stuff.
It all comes down to routine. We fail to create quantum leaps because we are deeply neurologically addicted to the invisible comfort of our daily routines.
Even if those routines make us miserable.
Exactly. Let's look at the anatomy of a completely average day. You wake up, you probably hit snooze twice.
Guilty.
Right. You perform the exact same morning hygiene tasks in the exact same order. You drive the identical route to work.
Listening to the same music
Ooh.
or the same news.
Yes. You get there and you engage in the exact same water cooler complaints with your coworkers.
Oh, man, the complaining.
It's constant. You complain about inflation, about how terrible dating apps are, about how exhausted you are.
Everyone just validating everyone else's misery.
Exactly. And then you go home, watch the same type of television, and go to sleep.
It's honestly terrifying when you lay it out like that. It's pure autopilot. We're just sleepwalking through our own lives.
It is autopilot, but it's not just a behavioral quirk. It is a profound neurological event.
What do you mean by that?
Well, every single time you repeat that cycle, you are carving fixed physical neural pathways in your brain.
Actual physical changes.
Yes. When you utter the sentence, "Oh, I just can't trust anyone," or "making money is always a horrible struggle," your neurons fire. And the fundamental law of neuroscience is that neurons that fire together wire together.
So it's not just a passing bad mood.
No, not at all.
By repeating these pessimistic thoughts, you are literally weaving a physical, solid web of negativity inside your skull.
You are.
You are architecturally building a brain that is highly optimized to constantly scan for and experience struggle.
Precisely. You are building a superhighway for dense, low-frequency thoughts.
A superhighway. I like that.
Yeah, because the electrical signal in your brain will always take the path of least resistance.
Right, it's lazy.
Exactly. If your life is impossibly hard, Pathway is a paved 8-lane superhighway. And your life is full of beautiful surprises. Pathway is a tiny, overgrown dirt trail in the woods.
Your brain is going to send every single thought down the superhighway.
Every single time, it's just faster.
But the incredibly hopeful flip side of this is the concept of neuroplasticity.
Yes, which changes everything.
Because the brain is plastic. It's malleable. Which means if we intentionally stop using a neural connection, it actually begins to weaken.
Right. The brain literally prunes away the pathways that we stop feeding.
So if we consciously force new, positive thoughts, even if they feel completely fake and awkward at first, we are literally building a brand new physical brain.
That is the exact literal mechanism of change. The brain has no concept of absolute truth.
Wait, really? It doesn't know what's real.
No, it only knows what is familiar. It doesn't know the difference between a miserable habit you've reinforced for 20 years and a new high-frequency thought you are intensely, consciously focusing on today.
That is wild.
It is. If you actively stop firing the I am unworthy pathway, the physical connections begin to degrade.
The dirt trail starts to become a road.
Exactly. And this is a massive, we have to be intensely prepared for the biological resistance that comes with this.
Because the brain fights back.
Oh, the brain hates losing its superhighways. It will fight you tooth and nail to keep things exactly as they are.
And there's a phenomenal anecdote from the source material that illustrates this exact struggle perfectly.
You're talking about the woman rewiring her unworthiness?
Yes. It's such a perfect case study. Let's talk about her.
So the material details a woman who recognized she had a massive, deeply ingrained neural network dedicated to feeling completely unworthy of love.
She just always felt like she wasn't enough.
Right. She had a long history of terrible abusive relationships. But she finally decided to do the work.
To build the new dirt path.
Yes. For nearly a year, she consciously rewired her brain. She focused relentlessly on high frequencies. She stopped complaining. She visualized a loving partnership.
She put in the reps.
She really did. And eventually, she experienced a genuine quantum leap.
She manifested it.
She did. She manifested exactly what she had been visualizing. She met an incredible, kind, wealthy, deeply supportive partner. It was a total paradigm shift from her past.
But her reaction wasn't what we would expect at all.
No. Well,
Like, we think if we finally get the miracle, we'll just fall to our knees in blissful gratitude. We'll be so happy.
right. The movie ending.
Exactly. But her immediate visceral reaction when this amazing person arrived wasn't joy at all.
Not even a little bit.
Her first thought was sheer panic. She thought, I don't believe this, I don't deserve this, this has to be a trick, this can't be real.
Which makes perfect biological sense.
Yeah,
and that reaction is the ultimate proof that the old neural pathways, that dense physical web of unworthiness, will still desperately try to fire.
Even when the good thing is standing right in front of you.
Especially then. The brain was looking at this beautiful, healthy relationship and perceiving it as a massive threat.
A threat? Why a threat?
Because the brain prioritizes what is familiar over what is positive.
Oh, wow.
To her brain, chaotic, painful relationships felt safe because they were predictable. She knew how to survive them.
Right, she knew the rules of that game.
Exactly. The new, loving relationship was unknown, and therefore, to the primitive brain, it was terrifying.
So it tries to reject it.
Yes. If left unchecked, the brain will completely sabotage the new reality just to get back to the familiar misery.
It's like your brain is a grumpy, stubborn old landlord.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like you finally find a fantastic, high-paying, quiet tenant to move into the building. But the landlord refuses to accept them and tries to kick them out.
Yep.
Just because he's so used to dealing with the terrible tenant who wrecked the place.
He misses the drama.
He does. He knows how to deal with the broken windows, but he doesn't know how to deal with peace and quiet.
That's exactly what the brain does.
So if the brain is the hardware, the actual physical wiring that is fighting to keep us stuck in these dense loops, where does all this negative energy actually go?
What do you mean?
Well, because it doesn't just stay in our heads, right? We feel this stuckness physically in our bodies. It feels like a weight.
We absolutely do. And that transitions us perfectly from neurology back into the physics of the human electromagnetic field.
Okay, let's get into the field.
The framework explains that you and every single person listening are physically surrounded by an invisible electromagnetic field.
Like an aura.
Yeah, think of it like a toroidal aura or a halo of energy that extends out from your heart and your brain. And this field isn't just sitting there passively, it is constantly actively broadcasting your dominant emotional frequency out into the universe.
So we aren't just solid objects walking around.
No.
We are essentially walking, talking radio towers, constantly emitting a signal.
That is exactly what you are. You are a transmitting antenna.
Wow.
But here is the critical distinction that trips everyone up. There is a massive difference between what you are consciously desiring and what you are subconsciously broadcasting.
Ah, right. The conscious versus subconscious.
Yes. Your conscious mind, your logic, your intellect might be saying, I really want to get married, or I want a high-paying, fulfilling new job.
Right, that is the logical adult speaking.
But what is the subconscious doing?
I imagine it's not politely agreeing.
Not at all. Your subconscious mind holds all of those dense neural pathways we just discussed. It holds every rejection, every trauma, every moment of shame.
All the heavy stuff.
Exactly. So while your conscious mind is politely requesting a promotion, your subconscious mind is acting like a terrified toddler throwing a massive tantrum in the middle of a grocery store.
Just screaming and crying.
Yes, screaming, I am not good enough. Everyone is going to figure out I'm a fraud. If I get more money, I'll just lose it anyway.
And the universe, the quantum field, doesn't speak the language of conscious logic, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Also, it doesn't hear the polite adult.
The universe is entirely deaf to your conscious logic. It only responds to the dominant frequency of your electromagnetic field.
It just matches the vibration.
It just matches the vibration. So if your logic says, I want deep unconditional love, but your internal field is fiercely broadcasting, I am fundamentally unlovable and I am terrified of abandonment.
The universe is going to match the broadcast.
Always. It will deliver experiences, people, and situations that perfectly match the frequency of fear and abandonment, not the conscious wish for love.
Okay, I have to step in here and ask the question that I know you, the listener, are probably shouting at your device right now.
Go for it.
If my subconscious is this insanely stubborn toddler and it's holding on to years, maybe decades, of deeply ingrained guilt, shame, and fear, how on earth do I actually clean it out?
Right, how do you fix it?
Yeah. I'm just perpetually doomed to broadcast this dirty, static-filled signal forever because that sounds exhausting.
You are absolutely not doomed, but you cannot fake your way out of it either.
No fake it till you make it.
Not with this. The framework provides a very vivid analogy for this cleaning process.
Okay.
Imagine dropping a handful of toxic black sludge, which represents your dense negative emotions, into a pristine, massive ocean.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
The ocean represents pure source energy, pure love, the absolute highest frequency possible.
Right.
Now, the ocean is infinitely more powerful than the sludge. It has the vast capacity to completely dissolve and neutralize that debris.
Because it's so huge.
Exactly. But the ocean can only dissolve it if we intentionally pull those dense, painful emotions to the surface and willingly expose them to that high-frequency energy.
That is such a vital distinction. You can't just pretend the black sludge isn't down there.
No, you can't ignore it.
You can't just slap a bright pink sticky note that says good vibes, only over a lifetime of complex trauma and pretend it's gone.
That's exactly what toxic positivity is.
Right. You actually have to feel the discomfort, pull it up into the light, and actively transform it by applying a higher frequency, like deep gratitude or forgiveness or love.
Exactly. You are literally using a higher physical frequency to permanently alter the structure of a lower one.
It's like alchemy.
It is a process of active transmutation. You are alchemy in motion.
Wow.
But what makes this process even more complex and, frankly, deeply mind-bending is where a lot of this emotional sludge actually originates.
Because it's not always just from our own lives, right?
No, a vast amount of it isn't even from our current day-to-day lives, which introduces one of the most radical concepts in this entire framework.
The illusion of time.
Yes, the illusion of time.
Oh, this is where it gets incredibly deep. This concept completely shattered how I view my own emotional baggage when I was reviewing the material.
It's a tough one to wrap your head around at first.
It really is. We are talking about time not as a straight, linear line pointing from the past into the future, but as something entirely different.
It challenges everything we are taught. The framework aligns with advanced quantum theories regarding time, which state that the past and the future do not actually exist as physical destinations.
You can't go there.
Exactly. You cannot travel to them. They are merely illusions created by the human brain to organize our experience.
Just a filing system.
Right. In the reality of the quantum field, past and future are simply different frequencies of information that you can tune into from the present moment.
So everything is happening now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this exact millisecond is the only thing that physically exists in the entire universe.
Let's make this tangible for the listener, because people talk endlessly about generational trauma or ancestral baggage.
Right, carrying the weight of your ancestors.
Exactly. The idea that we somehow carry the fears or the scarcity mindsets of our grandparents.
Yes.
Normally, the logical brain thinks, well, my grandfather went through a terrible famine 60 years ago. That event is locked away in the 1960s. I can't build a time machine and go back and fix his trauma.
Right, it feels impossible to change.
But this framework says you don't need a time machine at all.
You don't, because that past pain is not marooned in the past. It exists right now.
It's active.
It is living right now inside your current electromagnetic energy field as an active frequency.
Wow.
Because the quantum field is constantly resetting, collapsing, and refreshing every single millisecond, nothing is truly old.
Everything is fresh.
Right. Therefore, if you carry a deep inherited fear of starvation or poverty from your ancestors, it is a live broadcast happening today in your body.
It's broadcasting right now.
Exactly. And the empowerment in this is staggering.
Because you can change it.
Yes. By acknowledging that pain and actively healing it in the present moment with love, honor, and high frequency, you aren't just making yourself feel a little better today.
You're doing something much bigger.
You are quite literally rewriting the entire timeline. You are changing the frequency of the signal in the only place it actually exists, the now.
I want to bring up the radio analogy here because it clarifies this abstract physics better than anything else.
It's the best way to visualize it.
Yeah, think about the room you are sitting in right now. The air around your body is completely saturated with invisible frequencies.
Everywhere.
There are dozens of Wi-Fi networks, thousands of cellular phone calls flying through the air, radio stations playing jazz, classical, and heavy metal, and television stations broadcasting the news.
All of it, all at once.
They are all right there, physically intersecting with the cells of your body at this exact second.
Right.
But you don't hear a cacophony of music and voices. You don't see floating TV shows in your living room.
No, that would be chaotic.
Right. You only experience the exact signal that your specific internal remote control is tuned to.
It's a flawless representation of the quantum field. The frequency of your deepest past traumas, the frequency of your worst future anxieties, and the frequency of your absolute highest, most miraculous potential are all existing simultaneously in the invisible field around you.
They are all right there.
They're all available right now. You are simply experiencing the one you have unconsciously tuned your dial to.
The one your brain's superhighway is built for.
Exactly. If you want to change the channel of your life, if you are sick of watching the tragedy channel and you want to switch over to the miracle channel,
You don't have to painstakingly dismantle and rebuild the entire TV station.
no.
You just need to physically tune your internal receiver to catch a different wave.
That's all it takes, just turning the dial.
Okay, that sounds incredibly profound, but how do we actually do that?
Right, the practical application.
Yeah, how do we practically, physically reach out and twist that internal dial? Because it is one thing to sit here and intellectually understand that I am a radio tower.
It's easy to say.
It is. But it is a completely different challenge to actually change the channel when I'm exhausted, the kids are screaming, and I'm stressed out about paying rent.
When real life is happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do we pull this out of the theoretical realm? Let's break down the actual step-by-step mechanics of a quantum leap.
This is where the framework becomes a height-specific instruction manual.
Which I love.
Yes. It provides a 3-part manifestation formula for intentionally collapsing a wave of infinite possibility into a single physical reality.
Okay, what are the 3 parts?
It requires the precise alignment of 3 distinct elements: visual, audio, and emotion.
Let's walk through this together so the listener can practically apply it today.
Yeah.
So step 1 is the visual component.
Yes. The first step is to see your biggest desire, not as something you are hoping for in the distant future, but as an event that has already been accomplished.
Already done.
Right. You must construct the image clearly in your mind's eye as a present reality.
So if my ultimate desire is to manifest a beautiful new home for my family, I am not picturing myself scrolling through real estate listings online.
No, definitely not.
And I'm not picturing myself packing boxes or stressing about a mortgage.
That's the process, not the result.
Right. I'm picturing myself physically standing in the sunlit kitchen of that new house, looking out the window at the yard. I am already there.
Perfect. Yes.
But if I just look at it, it still feels a bit flat, like a static photograph. Is that why we need the second element to make it three-dimensional?
Exactly. A static image is easily dismissed by the brain as just a daydream. That brings us to the audio component.
The sound.
You must add a highly specific auditory layer to the visualization. You need to clearly hear a sound that explicitly confirms the reality of the leap.
Okay, give me an example for the house.
If we use your new house example, it could be the distinct metallic sound of your new keys jingling as you unlock the front door.
Oh, that's specific.
Or it could be hearing a specific loved one's voice, clear as day, saying, "Wow, I am so incredibly proud of you. This house is gorgeous."
And you really have to hear it.
You must hear it distinctly in your mind.
Okay, so I am standing in the sunlit kitchen, and I can hear my partner's voice congratulating me. I have the visual, I have the audio.
And then we hit the absolute most crucial part.
The engine of the whole thing, the emotion.
The emotion is the absolute catalyst. Without it, the visual and the audio are just a hollow movie playing in your head.
It doesn't have any weight.
Right. You must intentionally generate and feel the exact, precise emotion of that accomplished moment within your physical body.
Physically feel it.
Yes. And the framework insists you must hold that physical feeling for at least 5 uninterrupted seconds.
5 full seconds.
Yes. We are not just intellectually thinking, oh, I would be happy. You must physically feel the heavy surge of relief dropping your shoulders.
Or the warm swell of profound gratitude expanding in your chest and your stomach.
Exactly. It has to be visceral.
And I want to dig into the neurological mechanics of why this specific 3-part combo is so devastatingly effective.
It's a biological loophole.
It really is.
Yeah.
Why does this work? It exploits a literal flaw in our evolution. Your brain, on a structural level, cannot distinguish between an event that is actually physically happening to you in the external world and an event that you are intensely, vividly imagining with full sensory detail.
The brain reacts the exact same way.
Right. When you combine the visual data, the auditory data, and that intense, undeniable emotional surge, your body records that experience as a factual memory of something that has already occurred.
That is the biological side, yes. And if we connect that back to the quantum physics we discussed earlier, it becomes even more powerful.
How so?
Emotion is the absolute strongest frequency a human being can emit.
Stronger than thoughts.
Far stronger. It exerts the heaviest energetic gravity you can possibly apply to the quantum field.
Wow.
When your body genuinely registers the emotion of already having the desire, your entire electromagnetic field instantly shifts to match that high frequency.
Because your body thinks it already has it.
Yes. You are no longer broadcasting the desperate lack of the house. You are broadcasting the joyful reality of the house.
And that changes everything.
In quantum mechanics, that shift in observation and frequency is exactly what collapses the wave of infinite floating possibilities into the single solid particle of your new physical reality.
Emotion is the gravity that pulls the miracle out of the ether and into the physical world. I absolutely love that.
It's a beautiful way to put it.
But I want to keep us grounded in reality here. Let's be totally honest about the human experience.
Always.
Sometimes your mind is just entirely too loud.
Oh, absolutely.
You're panicked, your nervous system is completely fried from a terrible day at work, and if I tell you right now to just sit down, vividly visualize new life, and organically feel profound joy for 5 seconds.
Your brain is going to laugh in your face.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
When you are in fight or flight mode, you can't just casually feel profound gratitude.
No, you're just trying to survive.
Exactly. Sometimes we desperately need a physical shortcut to completely bypass the panicked mind.
And the creators of the framework deeply understood this limitation. You cannot outthink a panicked nervous system.
You can't logic your way out of a panic attack.
Never. That is exactly why they included a brute force physical intervention.
The breathwork.
Yes. When the mind is too chaotic, too dense, and too resistant to focus, you have to use the physical body to hack the mind.
Okay, tell us about it.
They introduce a highly specific, actionable 60-second breathing technique. It is designed to aggressively flood the brain with oxygen, forcibly silence the relentless mental chatter, and rapidly elevate the body's baseline vibration so you can actually perform the visualization.
Okay, I want to give you, the listener, the exact step-by-step breakdown of this 60-second frequency breathwork.
Think of this as your emergency energetic reset button.
Yes, so the setup is critical. First, your posture. You cannot do this slumped over on the couch.
Posture is everything.
You need to sit up completely straight, balancing your weight evenly. You look straight ahead, and crucially, your eyes must remain open for this active breathing phase.
Why open?
Well, because you were not checking out,
Mm.
You were locking into the present moment. And the absolute most important focus is that you must direct the air entirely into your upper chest.
I really want to pause and highlight that specific detail, upper chest breathing.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Why does the framework emphasize that so strongly? Because usually meditation tells us to breathe deep into our bellies.
Right, belly breathing is what everyone says.
But the framework notes that breathing forcefully into the upper chest physically combats the energetic posture of worthlessness and people-pleasing.
Wait, how?
Think about it. When we feel small, when we feel defeated or intimidated, what do we do physically?
We hunch over.
Exactly. We biologically hunch our shoulders forward, protect our hearts, and take shallow, tiny breaths.
We try to take up less space.
Yes. By forcing the chest open and expanding it upward, we are sending a direct biological signal of immense power, worthiness, and taking up space to our own nervous system.
It is a profound physiological declaration of presence. You are commanding your space.
Exactly.
Now, the technique itself is broken into 3 distinct phases of 20 breaths, all inhaled and exhaled solely through the nose.
Okay, walk us through the phases.
Phase 1, you take 20 slow, deep, powerful breaths in and out of the nose, aggressively expanding that upper chest.
Really filling the lungs.
Right. Phase 2, without pausing, you immediately transition into 20 slightly faster rhythmic breaths.
Picking up the pace.
Yes. Phase 3, you transition into 20 very fast, highly powerful, rapid breaths.
So 60 breaths total.
Exactly. Only after that final 60th rapid breath do you close your eyes and return to a normal, gentle breathing rhythm.
And let me tell you, if you actually do this, the physical rush of oxygen is intensely palpable.
You feel it immediately.
You do. You might even feel a bit lightheaded or tingly. What you are doing is literally forcing your brain waves to radically slow down. You are dragging them out of the panicked, high-stress, survival beta state and dropping them deep into the calm alpha state.
Or even the theta state, right?
Yes, the highly programmable, deeply receptive theta state. You have physically forced your biology into the now.
You force the door open.
And that exact moment of stillness is when you execute what the framework calls the energy pull.
Yes, the energy pull. Let's explain that, because this is where you capitalize on that deeply receptive state.
Exactly.
Once you are oxygenated and your eyes are closed, your mental static is completely gone. Now, you bring up the 3-part visualization of your desire.
The visual, the audio, the emotion.
Right. But instead of just passively looking at it like a movie screen, you actively engage with it. You imagine yourself acting as an immense energetic vacuum.
A vacuum.
Yeah. You visualize pulling the infinite glowing energy of the universal quantum field directly through the image of your desire and then pulling it forcefully into your own physical body.
Oh, wow.
You are actively magnetically drawing the frequency of the miracle into your cellular structure.
I am continually amazed at the sheer pragmatism of this. We are literally using raw physical biology, the simple mechanical act of inhaling and exhaling oxygen, to hack our quantum physics.
It's incredible.
We are using the muscles of our lungs to drag our terrified, scattered minds forcefully into the present moment, which, as we establish, is the only place where creation actually happens.
It is radically empowering. You don't need a life coach. You don't need a $10,000 retreat in Bali.
No, not at all.
You just need your own lungs and 60 seconds of focus.
It is the absolute democratization of manifestation. You hold all the tools internally.
Right there in your own body.
Exactly. However, as we begin to master this, as we actively change our frequency and start operating at this significantly higher, lighter vibration, we have to confront the immediate real-world fallout.
Oh boy, the fallout.
Yes. What happens to the environment around us? Specifically, what happens to the deeply entrenched people in our lives?
Because they notice.
They absolutely notice. Because when your frequency radically shifts, your relationships will inevitably react to that change. And this is where the process can get incredibly messy.
Messy is putting it mildly. This is where relationships completely fracture or transform.
They really do.
Let's delve into the framework's view on relationships, because I'll be honest, this is a very tough pill to swallow initially.
It triggers a lot of people.
It does. But once you grasp it, it is the most liberating concept in the entire deep dive.
Okay, what is the core idea?
The core, uncompromising idea is this. Every single person in your life is merely a reflection of your own internal state. They are mirrors.
Right. This is a fundamental cornerstone of the quantum perspective.
Yes.
It suggests that if someone in your life is treating you poorly, if a partner is constantly abandoning you, if a friend is chronically manipulating you, or if a boss is deeply disrespecting you.
All very common scenarios.
Extremely common. Well, from an energetic standpoint, they are not just acting as random malicious agents. They are flawlessly, perfectly playing a specific role that your own subconscious mind assigned to them.
Why?
They are acting out a script based entirely on your unresolved internal fears and deeply held beliefs about what you deserve.
Okay, I have to jump in and push back aggressively here because I know the immediate visceral reaction anyone listening is having right now.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
The immediate thought is, wait a second. So if my boss is a screaming toxic narcissist, or if my partner consistently cheats on me and lies to me, you're saying that is my fault.
Right.
I asked for that abuse. I manifested a terrible person. That sounds dangerously close to victim blaming.
It is a crucial distinction to make, and it is vital that we completely separate the concept of blame from the concept of radical empowerment.
Okay, clarify that for me.
The framework is absolutely not saying that you consciously desire abuse, that you deserve bad treatment, or that it is your conscious, quote-unquote, fault that someone is behaving terribly.
Good, because that would be awful.
Exactly. It is simply analyzing the objective, energetic dynamic holding the relationship together.
Okay.
The people in your life who trigger you are able to do so because they are pushing buttons that already exist inside of you.
Ah, the buttons.
Right. If you didn't have a deeply buried, unhealed fear of abandonment, a partner's distancing behavior wouldn't resonate with you. It wouldn't hook you into a cycle of anxiety.
You wouldn't tolerate it.
Exactly. You would simply observe their poor behavior, realize it doesn't match your worth, and leave effortlessly.
You wouldn't get stuck in the loop.
No. The framework posits that these difficult people are drawn into your life to illuminate your invisible wounds so you can finally heal them.
So, to use an analogy, they are just actors on a stage, flawlessly reading a script that my own unhealed trauma wrote for them.
They are showing you where you were broken.
Wow. So, the ultimate question is, if I actually heal my internal button, let's say I diligently do the breathwork, I do the visualizations, and I genuinely, completely heal my subconscious fear of being unworthy, what physically happens to the toxic boss or the bad partner?
The entire dynamic must instantaneously change because the interlocking frequencies no longer match.
Like puzzle pieces that don't fit anymore.
Exactly. The universe, by the laws of physics, cannot sustain a lasting connection between two wildly incompatible frequencies.
So what happens?
When you elevate your state, one of two things will organically, unavoidably happen. Scenario 1. That person will subconsciously feel your energetic shift, and they will be compelled to elevate their own behavior to meet your new boundary-driven frequency.
They rise to the occasion?
Yes, permanently transforming the relationship for the better.
Okay. And scenario 2?
Or scenario 2. They will naturally, and sometimes very abruptly, fall completely out of your life.
They just leave.
The job will terminate, the relationship will dissolve, the friendship will fade, and it won't be a drawn-out, agonizing fight. It will just happen because the dense, energetic glue that was holding the two of you together simply ceases to exist.
That makes me think of the story of the newspaper vendor from the text, which is just the most perfect, relatable illustration of how we constantly let these passing mirrors completely ruin our frequency.
Oh, I love that story.
Walk us through that one.
It's a brilliant, incredibly common anecdote. So a man is walking to work in a great mood. He's happy, feeling good. He stops at a local corner stand to buy his morning paper.
Just a normal morning.
Right. But the vendor working the stand is incredibly grumpy, entirely rude, scowls at the man, and practically shoves the paper into his chest.
Just totally miserable.
Yes. So the man takes his paper, walks away, and is instantly furious. He spends the entire 15-minute rest of his commute fuming.
Running through all the things he should have said to the guy?
Exactly. He gets to the office and immediately complains to his coworkers about how terrible the vendor was. He completely ruins his own mood and spends the morning vibrating with annoyance.
And punchline of the story is the massive discrepancy in time.
Exactly. The grumpy vendor was physically in the man's life for a grand total of 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
But the man voluntarily allowed that meaningless 10-second interaction to completely hijack and drag down his own personal frequency for the entire morning.
He gave his power away.
He did. The vendor was simply a mirror, momentarily reflecting a low frequency. But by engaging with it, by getting angry and offended, the man abandoned his own sovereign power and matched the dense frequency of the vendor.
And we do this a dozen times a day.
All day long.
Someone cuts us off in traffic, a literal 5-second interaction, and we let it hijack our electromagnetic field for 3 hours.
We let it ruin our whole day.
Which means, for 3 entire hours, we were walking around broadcasting the dense frequency of anger to the quantum field, which guarantees the universe is going to draw more anger-inducing situations right back to us.
It's a feedback loop.
We are poisoning our own well. So, how do we stop taking the bait? How do we protect our broadcast?
Right, how do we guard our energy?
This brings us to the ultimate secret weapon for maintaining a high frequency in a world absolutely full of grumpy newspaper vendors and stressful situations.
Radical acceptance.
Yes, radical acceptance.
Acceptance is a concept that is very frequently misunderstood. People often view acceptance as passive resignation or giving up.
Like rolling over and letting people walk on you.
Right. But in the context of maintaining your quantum frequency, complaining about reality, violently fighting against what is, and harboring chronic anger only serve to create massive internal resistance.
And resistance is bad.
Energetic resistance is one of the absolute lowest, densest emotional frequencies a human being can emit. When you vehemently resist a situation, when you scream, "This isn't fair," you are energetically supergluing yourself to the exact reality you are desperately trying to escape.
Let's apply this to something deeply relatable. Whether you are dealing with a toxic work environment, a terrible living situation, or a bank account that is chronically overdrawn, your biological instinct is to fight it.
Of course. You hate it.
You hate it, you stress about it constantly, you complain to anyone who will listen. But the framework says that is the trap.
It is the ultimate trap.
The very first step, the quantum leaping out of that nightmare situation, is absolute, unconditional acceptance of the present moment.
You have to stop fighting.
By simply stopping the fight, taking a deep breath, and saying out loud, "I fully accept that this is exactly where I am right now, and that is okay," you instantly sever the energetic cord of resistance.
You stop feeding the density.
Right.
What is truly fascinating here is how effectively this principle of non-resistance applies not just to external situations like jobs or bank accounts, but to our deeply personal internal struggles.
Like what?
Specifically regarding bad habits and addictions. The source material offers a truly paradigm-shifting perspective on things like smoking, excessive drinking, or chronically maintaining a poor diet.
This part completely blew my mind when I first read it, because it flips the script on how we handle self-improvement.
It really does.
Walk us through the actual energetic frequency of a bad habit.
Well, traditionally, society views the substance itself, the cigarette, the alcohol, or the junk food, as the sole ultimate enemy.
Right. We think the physical matter is the problem.
But the quantum perspective suggests something profoundly different. It posits that it is the intense stress, the crushing guilt, and the profound self-loathing you experience while trying to forcefully, miserably quit.
There's shame of it.
Yes. Combined with your deep-seated, terrifying belief that the substance is actively destroying your body, that actually lowers your frequency far more than the physical substance itself.
That is insane to think about.
The endless guilt, the shame spiral, the daily exhausting battle against your own desires that creates a massive, crushing, energetic density.
So, to put it plainly, you eat a donut, and then you spend the next 4 hours stressing out, hating your lack of willpower, and beating yourself up.
Exactly.
That psychological self-hatred is actually a heavier, far more destructive energetic anchor than the sugar in the donut.
Far more.
You are doing more damage with your thoughts than with your diet.
Yeah.
So what is the actual solution? Are we saying you should just chain smoke and eat junk food and just not care?
Not at all. The solution is to completely remove the resistance and the shame from the equation.
Just neutralize it.
Yes, you radically accept where you are without a single ounce of judgment. I am a person who smokes right now, and I accept that.
Taking the power away from it.
Exactly. And instead of focusing all your mental energy and willpower on furiously fighting the dense habit, which only makes you fixate on it more, you redirect your focus entirely toward the high-frequency practices we've discussed.
The breath work, the visualizations.
Right. You do your 60-second breath work every morning. You vividly visualize your highest, healthiest self. You cultivate profound gratitude for your body.
You focus on the light.
You focus exclusively on adding light rather than obsessively fighting the dark.
So what does this actually mean for the listener who is exhausted and struggling with something really heavy right now.
What's the takeaway?
It means that as you naturally raise your baseline frequency, as you dedicate your time to being light energy and less time being dense matter, an incredible biological shift happens.
The body adjusts.
Your physical body will organically, naturally stop craving the low-frequency habit. The desperate desire for dense, heavy foods or numbing toxic substances or even chaotic, toxic people will simply fall away on its own.
Without the struggle.
Exactly. You won't have to engage in a massive, miserable, white-knuckled struggle of willpower. The habit will just no longer be an energetic match to your new elevated vibration.
It will feel uncomfortable to hold on to it.
It is the ultimate, purest form of letting go.
Think back to the ocean analogy we talk about. When you elevate your internal state, you rise to the surface of the water. The things that belong in the dense, heavy darkness at the bottom of the ocean simply cannot survive at the surface with you.
They just detach.
They detach naturally because the environments are incompatible. Your only job, your only responsibility is to maintain the frequency of the surface.
I love that visual so much. The bad habits just dropping away into the depths. We have covered an immense amount of ground today, peeling back the layers of how reality actually functions. So let's enthusiastically recap this incredible journey we've been on.
We really went deep.
We did, because if there is one core, life-altering realization to take away from this, it is this. You're not just a solid, helpless block of matter sitting at the mercy of a random, chaotic universe.
Not at all.
You are a highly sophisticated, immensely powerful broadcasting antenna.
You are in constant dynamic interaction with the quantum field. Every thought, every breath, every emotion is a signal.
And by finally recognizing that fact, you reclaim your ultimate agency over your life experience.
Exactly. You are in the driver's seat.
By consciously, intentionally rewiring your daily routine, so your physical brain stops building massive superhighways of anxiety.
Building those new dirt trails instead.
Right. By actively, physically feeling the emotions of your future success today to collapse those infinite quantum waves into reality.
Bringing the future into the now.
Yes. And by utilizing that intense 60-second breath work to flood your nervous system with oxygen and hack your way into the present moment, you can literally pull entirely new realities out of the invisible air around you.
It's all right there.
You have the inherent power to stop being a passive, frustrated observer sitting quietly in the audience of your own life. You can step up onto the stage and start being the director.
The power has always resided entirely internally. The external world, with all its challenges and relationships, is merely the delayed echo of your internal broadcast.
The echo, I love that.
Change the internal broadcast, and the external echo must inevitably physically change to match it.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final lingering thought to really mull over today as you go back to your routine.
What is it?
Think back to that profound idea that your relationships are merely mirrors. If every single person in your life, the frustrating coworker who talks over you, the distant partner, the grumpy vendor on the corner, all of them, if they're just an actor flawlessly reading a script written by your own subconscious fears, doubts, and beliefs, what completely new, beautiful, empowering lines are you going to sit down and write for them today?
It changes absolutely everything when you finally realize you are the author.
It really, truly does. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We will see you next time.